So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Got Harem with Undertale. So let's start the series. Naruto stood stunned by what had happened as his bright red ball teetered through the mouth of a small cave opening. He paused, saying, maybe I can just get another ball, but Sensei'll be upset when he finds out I came here, then let out a terrified sigh and went through, promising to return quickly. However, he assumed that the phrase, I'll be back in no time, did not include tripping over a loose vine and falling into a pit. Oh, after a few seconds of fidgeting, Naruto rolled off the flower bed, saying, I guess I won't be back in no time, as the faint glimmer of the surface light finally roused him. He felt that the ground underneath him was nothing but a bed of golden flowers. Hey, is anyone here? He asked as he passed through the strange-looking gray door that was the only exit from the chamber. Hello? Hey, kid. That's enough shouting. Huh? Naruto asked, looking around the pitch-black chamber where no one was in sight. Hey, are you some kind of ghost? What the no? Are you brain-dead, kid? Look down. Gwa. F-flowers can't talk, he exclaimed as he followed the voice's instructions and noticed a bright yellow flower staring directly at him. Well, I'm a very special flower, the name's Flowy, and I can tell just by looking at that clueless face of yours, you're new here to the underground, aren't cha? Naruto nodded slowly. Well, it's your louse dash, lucky day that little OL Flowy's here, how about I teach you the ropes? No, see that S wait and oh? What the heck are you saying, kid? There's no way I'd want to learn anything from a freak like you, Naruto said with a mischievous smile at Flowy. Why, you damn brat? You're going to die out there without my help and someone else is going to take your soul. And I can't allow that. My soul was the only thing Naruto could make out of the insane flower's words, and it was the only thing he could say before an army of seeds surrounded him. Naruto felt a powerful force appear on the side of his chest, and his hand grazed a small but passionately glowing red heart. Is this it? He asked. My spirit? There was no way for Naruto to move away from the seeds dancing all around him without being shot to death by the 1,000 bullets. That's your soul right there. Flowy laughed. It's weak, yes, but it can grow strong by gaining LV or love and gaining EXP. How do you gain love? By getting touched with these friendly pellets. Hee. They won't hurt you. Naruto the flower knew deep down that something wasn't right. He began to twist his face into a more menacing expression. Stop cowering down. You want to earn love, don't you? You want to grow stronger, right? Then the entire underground will recognize you and he said. And you won't be treated like the rightful scum you are. Aihihiha. For the sake of everyone, just die. Nothing happened, and when he looked up, the calming darkness had taken the place of the once dangerous flower and his army. Asterisk patter, that's it. Naruto's ears perked up at the sound of gentle footfall approaching him. I will not be intimidated by this one. Get ready, he yelled as he leaped straight up and lunged at the approaching beast. It's incredibly soft, and I'm not sure if this is another bloom. His eyes wandered up as he heard a soft, soothing voice inquire, Are you hugging me? She was, well, what in the world was she? To get a good, long, traditional look at her, Naruto was able to pull himself away from the warmth. No, IARAU, he stammered, unable to finish his statement. Oh my. He's so terrified that he can't even finish his sentences. She said, You don't have to be afraid anymore, child. I am Toriel, caretaker of the ruins, and I'm here to guide you, in a tone that Naruto didn't believe was conceivable. Every day I pass through this place to see if any newcomers have arrived. You're the first human to ever fall down here in a very long time. Come, I'll guide you through these catacombs. Naruto trailed Toriel to the following room, which was adorned with roses and determination. A stairway spiraled toward the door on either side. The ruins are full of puzzles, child. You'll be encountering all sorts of them. Solving these puzzles is key to moving from one room to the next, and I want to teach you everything about them since you'll be living here, Toriel said, pausing when they arrived at the next room. See, she said, stepping on the 4 outer buttons. Right? Got it. After running into the next chamber, Naruto switched the final switch in the hallway and padded over the bridges that were bursting with pale, blue water, but nothing occurred. When he flipped it more forcefully, nothing occurred. Oh dear, Toriel said quickly as she drew Naruto away from the switch. Silly child, the ones you need to activate are clearly labeled, she explained. Naruto lowered his head, but no need to worry, I activated them for you. With his head up, Naruto, come follow me to the next room. As a human, monsters may try to attack you and you'll engage in a fight. However, worry not. You don't have to fight said monster. You can simply strike up a friendly conversation. Read the little, tight chamber that followed. It had no riddles, just a lone, lonely dummy. Ha! I know it seems confusing. So why don't you try out your conversational skills on that old dummy over there? You want me to talk to a dummy? That's really stupid. You know, how am I gonna get stronger from talking to it? Stronger? That flower has filled you with nonsense. If you simply talk to it, you have the chance to become its friend, and in my opinion, that's a far more fulfilling reward than becoming Dash. She stopped and the kid was gone. Huh? Little boy, where did you dash? The boy and the dummy were conversing. Hey, the name's Naruto. What's yours? You're not up for conversation, huh? He must have been a lonely boy who was so ready to make friends. That's enough, child, Toriel remarked. I'm very proud of you, but I thought you didn't want to talk to the dummy, she joked. His complexion was red. That's not true. I was just doing what you told me, goat lady. Come on, let me talk to a real monster. All right, follow me. He didn't veer off the route until he got to the very end, where a frog was looking down at him. The room that followed was another lengthy corridor with a winding path that extended all the way to the next door. A true monster. Just talk to it. Isn't that what I should do? The name's Naruto. I really like frogs. I don't know what he said, but I feel flattered somehow. Naruto jumped towards the spiky blonde but stopped in his tracks when Frogget gave him an I'm really trying to like you but am still going to attack you anyway smile. The deathly rays of Toriel hammering down on him were too much for him to handle, and he was forced to choose between hiding in a corner or facing Toriel. Toriel's scowl deepened. Thus, it was a corner. With her warm, furry paw encircling his palm, Naruto returned to Toriel's safe haven. This is the puzzle, Toriel said as they passed the hallway. I'm sorry for not mentioning it earlier. The problem was made up of a variety of sharp spikes spread out throughout the floor. But I think it's best if I help you through this one. It's rather dangerous, she said, observing his face turn pale. I'm sorry, but I have something to ask you, Toriel said as she led Naruto through the puzzle and into the next room. She felt a knot in her throat and said, Can you please walk this room by yourself? Please forgive me, before scuttling away and quickly hiding behind a rotting pillar. She felt a tug at her paw. Oh, I feel so bad, Toriel whispered softly. Maybe he feels like I didn't want to be around him anymore. Maybe I should, she said. The young child was standing in front of her, grinning broadly. Hiya, goat lady. You completed it so fast. Yeah? That challenge was way too easy for me anyways. Toriel took out a small, junky box and tucked it between Naruto's hands. Here, it's a cell phone. If you need anything, just call, Toriel said. Well, it looks like you've grown to be a very independent boy. I'm sorry this is so sudden, but I have business I need to attend to and I must go alone, so please do not follow me. It's too dangerous to explore by yourself, she said. Naruto squeezed the mobile phone tightly before stuffing it into his pocket. He then smiled and adjusted his green goggles, saying, there's no way I'm staying in this smelly place. Then he walked away. Toriel's laboriously cooked butterscotch pie had long since gone cold. The cavern was quiet, with only the sound of her apprehensive pacing and sporadic sighs permeating the thick atmosphere. What if some monsters managed to capture him? Yes, I do feel that way. The halls reverberated with a gentle scuffle that got louder with every breath. Toriel thought, it's probably some monster making a ruckus, isn't it? She hurried to the door as another noise came from the abyss, one that she was unable to attribute to any of the monsters who were living in the ruins. The noise, it's the sound of flesh, she said. I'm sorry, as expected. The lad hobbled through the doorway, coughing up a pool of blood. I came so late, Naruto said, feeling her warmth once more and temporarily forgetting the pain. I am sorry, my child. It was irresponsible of me to leave you so long for some silly surprise. Quit it, Naruto called out to Toriel. You don't have to treat me like a baby every time I get a little hurt. It's those damn puzzles that took me forever. What about the monsters? He patted his aching arm and said, they didn't give me any trouble, but forget about that. I want to see the surprise you were talking about. As Toriel started to go, Naruto tailed her and said, so that's why he's so hurt, adding, well, the pie's a little cold, so while I warm it up, you can rest up a bit. Naruto entered Toriel's cottage, where he removed his muddy sandals and put them by the door before entering. Toriel led the spiky blonde into a room down the hall and said, please rest in the guest room. I'll be back with the pie in a jiffy. It's really clean here for a guest room. I guess not many people visit here, Naruto said, settling down on a small bed that hugged the right wall. The room's adorable arrangement and tiny pile of toys were clear signs that it had once belonged to a child. I wonder how everyone is doing back at home? Hee hee, I bet they haven't even realized I'm gone. It's not like they care, he said, his eyelids getting heavy. Oh, don't you want to stay here? Who could blame you, haha? The only person who doesn't treat you like garbage is her. It's still my home, and I still want to return. Don't you want to feel a mother's love forever? Have you ever wondered what it feels like? You feel incredibly alone, dejected, and hurt. However, I still have a dream. What dream do you have? Then he recalled *thud OW. Oh, damn it. Naruto forced himself up after digging his claws into the floorboards. A buttery sweet smell hit him like a bullet, and then he realized that Toriel had warmed up the pie she was talking about. As he left the guest room, the pie plate rested securely on his arm. Naruto entered the living room where Toriel was reading by the fireplace after passing the foyer. After clearing his throat and placing the butterscotch cinnamon pie on the table, Naruto said, I suppose I must tell her all right. Let's get this done. He pushed out his chest, and as the spiky blonde drew closer, Toriel's rocking chair's soft rhythm accelerated. Ahem. Goat lady, **thud oh. She then followed up with, are you okay? However, he stopped her. Naruto said, I know I mess up a lot, but I don't want you to worry about me, as he got up from his defenseless position. What are you saying, child? She gasped. I won't have to worry about you since you'll be staying here with me. Won't you? I mean, we'll be doing so many fun things together. I even set a curriculum up for your edu. I want to go home, he said, scuffing his foot across the floor. This is your home? Would you care to know about the book I'm reading? It's called 72 Uses for Snails, limited edition. How do I leave? Do you want to learn about an interesting snail fact? Well, did you know that snails are the slowest known moving creature on Earth? I guess they can't escargot when you want them to, ha 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 ha. Toriel got up. Excuse me, she ran out of the room. As he steamed out of the living room, Naruto shook his head and said, where'd she go? The foyer led to either the hallway or a flight of stairs that descended to the basement. I'll try the basement, he said. You want to know how to return to home, do you not? Toriel said as she heard faint footsteps approaching her. Ahead of us will lie the end of the ruins and the entrance to the rest of the underground. I am going to destroy it. No one will be able to leave the ruins ever again. Stay here and don't follow, she said with another sigh. Every human who's fallen down here meets the same exact fate, time and time again. They come, they leave, they die. Askari will kill you. This is for your own good. Go back to your room, Toriel said, knowing that he wouldn't listen, even though she had told him no. This is your last warning. Go back, she said, not stopping Naruto. They went into the final room and Toriel made his way to the purple door, which was his only means of escape. Okay, then you're just like all the others. If you want to leave so badly, then you must prove your strength worthy with a fight, she said. Naruto asked again, my strength, and then grinned boldly. I already told you, I didn't kill any monsters, he said, clenching his soul. And I don't intend to kill you either, he said. Toriel remained silent. The hyper-blonde was surrounded by a plethora of fireballs, and as each one pounded on him, his fingers sunk deeper into the ground. And Toriel, I am going to overcome this. His tough skin was scorched by another set of fireballs that were buried through his clothing. I don't think you want to do this either, so, he said. Without a shirt, the fire continued to burn his skin until it ran out of fuel to continue. The only sound was the slow crunch of dirt. What are you doing? What are you trying to prove? I won't fight you, he said with raspy breath. The flames ripped through the layers of Naruto's flesh as more fireballs emerged and feasted on his back. Then he did something strange, softly curling the corner of his mouth. Stop it, she choked. Please, she said. The person in the other corner curled up and said, he still manages to smile despite all the pain he's in. I've never seen a boy like this. Toriel's arm abruptly fell to her side. Why are you making this so difficult? Go back upstairs or no, she said, raising her eyebrows. I can't even save a single child. I understand you would be unhappy trapped inside this place, she said. Haha, it's pathetic, isn't it? When you get used to these ruins, they get very small. It wouldn't be right for such a lively child like you to grow up here. For you, I'll put aside all my worries, and if you truly wish to leave these ruins, I promise not to stop you. Toriel approached Naruto and gave him his final embrace, saying, just please, my child, do not come back. She pulled out a dark blue lump and covered him with it. And here's an extra shirt. I'm sorry for burning your old one, she said. Naruto said, wait, and she halted. He turned and grinned earnestly, saying, thank you, I never felt the love of a mother before, and being with you makes me wonder if this is how it would feel. Oh, what's the symbol anyways? Naruto pulled at his new shirt, which was an ordinary shirt made of cotton, loose-fitting, and round-necked. The only unusual element was the faded white symbol on the front. I know I've seen this somewhere before. It was on Goat Lady's dress. Ding, ding, ding. It's that flower once more. Naruto was so focused on his shirt that he didn't notice he had stepped directly into a spot of vivid green grass, which was ideal for a particular yellow blossom to appear and taunt him. What do you want? His sallow face contorted dramatically as he said, in this world it's kill or be killed. Tell me, just what were you trying to accomplish? Standing out there like that, don't you know? In response, he murmured, there was something I had to prove to her. What were you trying to prove? Flowey asked. His stem slumped over into an arch and the corners of his mouth no longer curled. That I was strong. You think you're so high and mighty, Don Ticha. Well, I hate to break it to you, but the world of monsters doesn't take kindly to humans, so what if you went by without killing a single one of those monsters? When you exit these caverns, you're bound to meet a relentless killer, and what'll you do then? Sit back and let them key dash. Naruto strolled off in the direction of the entrance, much to Flowey's chagrin. Where do you think you're going? Listen, if I ever face a monster like that, I'll fight them. I won't have to die for their sake, he said, pausing just enough to meet Flowey's scowl. Chloe was about to speak when he paused and buried himself in the ground. XXXX, snowed in a fresh layer of snow crunched softly beneath Naruto's feet as he descended more and deeper into the abyss. The region was crammed with hundreds of needle-thin trees that stretched miles long, making it impossible to leave save for a narrow, little trail. It's incredibly eerie that I can't see anyone here. Asterisk thud, ow. 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 Naruto mumbled a foul word and then proceeded to stand up again, cocking his head around to try to identify the offender. That's it, he said, snatching off a small twig as he did so. A hefty weighted stick was lying perpendicular to his pathway. Asterisk snicker snicker. He clutched his twig hard. Asterisk a rustle, hey. If someone's out there, come on out and face me. Naruto yelled, his movements hurried. He could make out the shadow of someone approaching him as the sound of snow crunching grew louder and louder. The shadow remained motionless for what felt like the longest 2 seconds of Naruto's life. Human, he said, drawing the U out longer than necessary. You sure do talk big, why don't you come over here? When his twig broke in two, he sputtered, sure. Not wanting to be called a coward, he crept toward the person. If you counted a short, alive, breathing skeleton wearing the coziest clothing possible as a human, come on, shake my hand, will you? Said a bone-only hand as it slithered out of his jacket sleeve. Underscore 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 haha. The old whoopee cushion in hand trick never ceases to please. Humorous, wouldn't you agree? He put his hand back in his pocket and said, I understand. You're the kind of person who doesn't understand. Anyway, I'm Sans the skeleton, he said. Naruto smiled and said, Sans, huh? What kind of name is that? Sans' sharp white eyes briefly strayed from the spiky blonde as he said, I don't really care about capturing humans, but my brother Papyrus on the other hand, he's a human hunting fanatic. That's a story for another time, friend. Now, don't take this personally, but I'm actually supposed to be on watch for humans like you, but another smile. I'll just catch him first. Got it. Was I hearing him right? His sharp tongue became blunted. What are you saying, kid? He asked. What's a human going to do with a monster anyways? Naruto turned and saw a rusting gate towering over them both. But the wide bars made it easy for him to sneak away. A tiny rest place was located through the final stretch of needle trees. Hey, you'll just have to find out. Naruto said. Hey, Papyrus, come out. Naruto cried, putting his icy hands over his mouth. Sans, approaching from behind the guard station, said, Don't think that's a good idea, buddy. I have a better idea. Hide behind that dash. He gestured to a lamp beside Naruto. Sans waved it off, saying, Guess that's too bad. Huh? And here he comes, I'll try and stall him 4 dash. The light did not fit Naruto's spiked hair, despite being exactly tall enough to meet his size. You don't have to. Heh, you got guts? I'll give you that, but let me handle this. He walked to the exit, saying, I told you already, I'm gonna capture him. Asterisk crunch with your bare hands? That's Papyrus. He'll be here any minute. Yeah, that's how you capture him. Asterisk crunch, fine, whatever. As he approached Sans, Papyrus, a towering, heavy-chested skeleton, was thinking a lot. I know I heard someone mention my name, but it wasn't Sans. No, could it be a new adoring fan? He thought, his bright red boots punishing the fragile snow. Sup bro, Sans said nonchalantly. Sans, did you hear some dash? He said, shaking his head. With his arrogant grin ingrained in Papyrus' mind, Naruto exclaimed, Hey. You're Papyrus, right? I'm the one who's gonna capture you. Why you wanna capture me? Sans chuckled, bro, and Papyrus saw him putting his hands farther into his pockets. That guy's a human, Papyrus said. Are you really a human? He said, glancing doubtfully at Sans before turning back to Naruto. Well, he is rather fleshy for a monster, he said. The child's head creaked slightly in response. As his feet scuffed the snow and he shuffled into the abyss, Papyrus' joints briefly relaxed, almost as if he was relieved. This is awesome. Stay here, human. Let me go find my sack. So, I thought you were going to capture him. I was just lying, and you fell for it. He said, oh, you got me there, in a sarcastic tone that Naruto couldn't possibly understand. But I guess you're not as bad as I thought. My brother's been feeling down lately and he got so happy when he saw you. Maybe you can do this act like a human thing for a little bit longer, he said. Naruto said, who says I'll do what you say anyways, as he kicked his heel against the ice. Because I have a feeling you enjoy it just as much as he does. Yeah, whatever. As he started to move farther away, Sans could still see Naruto's bright yellow hair dancing in the breeze. That kid, he remarked in between giggles, what an idiot. Oh, Naruto didn't stray too far from the path because he believed that doing so would result in his death. Eventually, the path opened up into a crossway portion with lush evergreen trees. He approached the sign and a blood-red chest that were standing silently by the trees. A glove? He asked, reaching inside after raising the hood. How long has that monster been here, geez? Pulling the ancient glove over his icy hands, he said, it's pretty tough for a glove. It fit his frostbitten fingers tightly. You didn't even bother to read the sign? Figures, so what? It's not like there's something wait. What is that person's voice? Turning slowly, he said, an owl thing. After saying, you don't even know what I am, figures, Snowdrake inhaled deeply and pumped chilly air into his cheeks. Naruto looked at his glove and asked, figures? What do you mean by that? Naruto asked as the chilly air transformed into sharp-edged boomerangs using magic and spit them out of his lips one by one. He could easily weave among the boomerangs. A human like you wouldn't understand the power of comedy. Like a joke or something? Yeah. I'll try out an ice pun, 'cause ice puns are no problem. He tilted his head sideways. Snowdrake waddled away on his stumpy yellow legs, saying, I understand. My pun was so great you're speechless right now. Dad was wrong. I'm not just funny, I'm a comedy genius. I have to tell him later? Naruto murmured, I still don't get it, after he huffed. Another monster strode up the road, abruptly interrupting the few moments of calm he had managed to acquire. Naruto ignored the creature and continued to walk. Ha! Ahem, said Ice Cap as he turned around and rushed up to the person with the spiky hair. Naruto continued to move. He tugged on Naruto's shirt and exclaimed, look at it. Hello? My hat's up here. He turned on his heel and removed Ice Cap's hat from his large snowball head, saying, hee, yeah, I'll look at it. Ha, not so high and mighty now without your dumb wait, what the heck? What's the point? Ice Cap said. His hat, which was the pinnacle of everything he stood for, was gone. Without it, he was just a block of undignified ice. I'll just give it back to him, Naruto said as pools of icy water dripped from his fingers cracks. Hey. Don't worry, you dash. These creatures are pretty weird, well, some of them, Naruto said as he watched the ice cube joyfully jump off. Wait, I have an idea. I'll just rebuild my hat. I have all the materials. I can make it better than it was. Taller, prettier, icier. Yes. Oh, Naruto could hear the sound of faint murmurs growing louder with each step he took as the evergreen trees pressed closer and closer along the path. Those voices, I know I heard them from somewhere. He thought, feeling the same unavoidable tightness that had surrounded him when he first arrived in the snow-covered area. So like I was saying about Undyne, when I asked her if the royal guards could patent my human catching sack, she dash, hey, don't look now, but the human's back. What? Really? Yes, the little person was back with him. Oh my gosh. Yes, he is indeed here. Now that I have my sack with me, I can finally be, and then Undyne, I'll be so popular. I'll have so many friends. Ahem. Human, he said, causing Naruto to shift uneasily. Because I, the great papyrus, will be the one to capture you and ship you to the capital. You shall not pass this area. Nor will you capture me. He protruded his tongue and said, I don't want to capture a loser like you who has no friends. As though the word loser itself were a sharp cut to his soul, Papyrus collapsed to his knees. Human, how dare you throw a filthy word like that around? That's it. He sprung back up, saying, I'll sack you right now. He pulled out a tiny brown potato sack and headed at full speed in the direction of the human. I guess he took what I said to heart. Sans eyed the human suspiciously, but for some reason he didn't even bother to move. His muscles only twitched when Papyrus was almost on top of him. It happened quickly, and before Papyrus could process it, Naruto's hands were firmly planted on his skull. He bent his arms and pushed off of the tall skeleton's back, saying, or maybe not. After landing on the soft snow, Naruto took off, saying, see you guys later. As he continued to travel farther into the forest, his jogging quickly slowed to a stroll. Oh, dude, why hasn't anyone bothered to cut down all these dumb trees that are everywhere? Did something just move, or was it my imagination? 'Cause if something like a human were moving, well, I'd make sure they never move again. Who is that? */ I could have sworn a sword or something came through me, and Naruto said, looking around at the still trees. Well, he said. A dog wearing leopard print pants and brandishing two short swords stood in front of the spiky blonde. I guess I was wrong, no one's heir after all, Doggo said, pointing his white snout directly at Naruto. Under the assumption that the dog couldn't see him, Naruto began to stand up. Doggo clutched his blade and swung wildly, yelling, take this, with each swing. Oh! I was right after all. He couldn't see me a moment ago, but now he can. A blue sword and a white one. When he attacked me the first time, he used the sword that didn't work on me, Naruto said, pausing to examine the dog. I see you, Doggo said, stepping toward Naruto while carrying only his white blade. The blade that doesn't operate is his blue one, then. Doggo grumbled something and attempted to draw his blade, but Naruto scampered out of the path as the sword effortlessly swung down, piercing through the thin covering of snow and carving itself into the ice. Yes. For once, I have an idea. After tearing off his thick gloves, Naruto tossed them behind Doggo. * plop, more movement. Doggo halted his sword pulling and turned to look around. Naruto leaped to his feet and ran off, never turning around until he was certain he was far from the dog beast. Oh, hey, watch out, who dash. His legs sprang forward and he landed on his back, causing the ice under him to shatter unnaturally. It's you again, was the first thing to emerge. Naruto touched the back of his sore head and asked, what do you want? Sans leaned on the sign that was placed directly in the center of the ice lake and said, I have something important that you need to remember, his faded blue sneakers providing good traction on the ice. No need to be sour, kid, he said. Shoot, well, my brother has a very special attack. If you see a blue attack, don't move and it won't hurt you. Would have been nice to know this sooner. What? Never mind, right. So anyways, just imagine a stop sign. When you see a stop sign, you stop. Stop signs are red, but instead imagine a blue stop sign. You'll remember that during battle, won't you? I dunno, maybe. I'm sure you'll be fine. *# clank. I guess that's my cue to leave, remember? Blue stop sign. Also, I advise you to pet it. Pet what? *# clank that. With its sword, amour, and shield, the heavy-built, white dog that hung over Naruto looked like a normal guard. Naruto found some significance in the shield in particular. That identical symbol on my shirt is on that dog's shield too? Lesser Dog's blue spear swung down toward Naruto, but it had no effect, so he used the white spear instead. Sans wants me to pet it, don't you think? Here I come. Naruto touched the top of the Lesser Dog's fur and grabbed for its head. Woof woof. Ha! This is fun, said another pet as its head shot into the air, lesser dog's enormous neck looming in the sky, casting a tall shadow over the spiky blonde. Naruto scratched at its neck once more, but instead of growing taller, it started lowering. The more Naruto petted Lesser Dog, the more it relaxed its hold on the spears until it finally fell onto the ice. The head of the Lesser Dog had buried itself, and Naruto was now excessively caressing it. Naruto stopped patting him and said, "Where's it now, eh? I'll just go." He went north of the ice lake and discovered a single snow lump. As he turned to go, the lone lump of snow yelled, "Wait." Naruto halted. "I want to live. Take a piece of me out to world with you." He took a clump of snow and shoved it into his pockets, saying, "No problem, I'll take this really far, you're so lazy," exclaimed Papyrus, his buoyant voice floating in midair for a moment before settling down. "You napped all night." Naruto traveled east of the ice lake this time and found himself in a cleared field where the two skeletal sentries were waiting. "I believe that's actually called sleeping," he joked. "Excuses don't burn calories, Sans." "I'm okay." At least the humans crawled back. "Oh wow, he has. Ahem. If the sack didn't work, then for sure these puzzles my brother and I created will halt your movements. This one in particular you'll find to be quite, his sockets splitting, shocking. Behold, the invisible electrifying maze. When you touch the maze, this orb will deliver a near-fatal shock. Fun, right? Well, between 1 to 10 of the amount of fun you'll actually have, it's probably a 1. 4. Papyrus said, holding out a gleaming sphere-like device in his red glove. After grinning, Naruto went up to the skeletons. "Hey, wait, I didn't see you could dash." Asterisk Zipiki after rapidly recuperating from the electric shock. Papyrus stomped his foot on the ground and exclaimed, "Sans, what happened? What did you do?" "I believe the kid has to hold the orb for it to work." When he reached the end of the maze, Papyrus dropped the ball on Naruto's hair and exclaimed, "Ha! Try to solve the puzzle now." "Oh, I get it." He gazed at the riddle for a while before moving ahead in the same direction as Papyrus. After 2 careful steps, he finally understood. "Ah, this is simple." He concluded with a round of NYEHs and slowly retreated. "What? You slippery slug, you solved that puzzle so easily, too easily. However, you won't be so lucky next puzzle because it was designed by yours truly's brother, Sans." "Thanks, kid, it's been a while since I've seen him this happy. But the way you're going on right now isn't working. The underground isn't all flights and fights. There are puzzles too, and they'll only get more challenging. Either you work harder or smarter at solving them, otherwise you'll never reach the surface." "What, you don't have anything to add? Usually you're all about proving how talented you are," said Naruto, without a word coming from the spiky-haired human as he moved away from the big-boned skeleton. "Actually, you're right to tell you the truth, but I'll eventually solve them after a few tries. I mean, just how hard can these stupid puzzles get?" he said, turning and scratching the surface of his cheek as a slow smile crept up his face. "I guess you're right, Heb. Try not to die, pal," Sans said, forcing himself not to chuckle. Oh, Naruto didn't see another life form for what seemed like hours, and it turned out to be a blue bunny serving ice cream. "Oh, a customer, finally, wouldn't you agree it's the perfect weather for some nice cream?" The rabbit yelled. Naruto approached the blue rabbit with curiosity and said, "Nice cream," as he placed his arms on the icy vendor stand. "I'll take one," he said. "Wonderful. Nice cream is only 15G here in Snowdin Forest, a cheap price if I do say so myself." 15 what? 15 gold? Whenever you encounter monsters, most of the time, they'll drop this shiny yellow stuff called gold. Haven't you ever thought to pick some up? "Nope. So you're broke is what I'm hearing." "Yep." His face drooped sharply. "I guess I'd better go now," Naruto said. crossing a rigid bridge to his right, where he could still hear the nice cream man's constant rhythm of loud moans and head bangs. After a moment, Naruto felt cold water slide down his back like a snake. "What?" he asked, lowering his hands to reveal that the snowball had been replaced by cold, unforgiving water. The next section had a wide strip of frozen earth with a single, huge snowball right dab in the middle. Naruto passed it even though another snowball had been used in its stead. "Hey again," Naruto said, not surprised by Sans' voice at this point, as he had been at every one of their previous meetings. "I've been thinking about becoming a vendor too. I would ask you to buy some fried snow right about now, but I heard you had no money," he said. "Even if I had money, I wouldn't buy fried snow or whatever kind of crap that is. That's fine. I don't have any fried snow to give out, Sans. I hear my brother calling, gotta fly, oh. Sans said as he descended past the snowball game and onto a makeshift road. He paused to observe the endless rows of closely spaced evergreen trees. "I know you're there, human, come out," he said. An ice cap came out when one of the evergreen trees abruptly stopped shaking fiercely. "My mistake," Sans laughed. But he didn't care because a snow-crunching session filled the stillness. "It must be that ice cap," he said, but instead of fading, the crunching became louder. "No, this time it's the human," he said. Sans said, "It's you again." Naruto became at ease in Sans' company, no longer feeling afraid, and desired to be close to him. "Human, I've always wondered, don't you ever feel cold in that get-up of yours?" "This?" Naruto tugged at his sleeves. Aside from a black undershirt, his attire was rather light for the winter. "I'm not cold at all," he protested. "So, I think we've reached my brother by now. Why do I even ask these kinds of questions if I know the answer I'll get, and is that the human with you?" "Nye, it doesn't matter. Sans, did you bring your puzzle?" Papyrus exclaimed, "Sans? There you are." Sans laughed at how the ground beneath his boot was worn away from his repeated tapping. Sans pointed to a sheet of paper on the floor and said, "My puzzle is right over there. It's specially designed so a human can never get past it." "Woo-wee, that's great. Monster Kid's word search. Looks like a bunch of letters vomit up," Naruto said, staring at the piece of paper he had picked up. "Boring." He threw the word search back on the ground and started to walk again. "Sans, that didn't work at all. Whoops. I knew I should have used today's crossword, but I didn't." "Crossword? I can't believe you just said that. In my opinion, Junior Jumble is easily the hardest, really, dude. That easy-peasy word scramble, that stuff's for baby bones, leave, human, solve this quarrel. I think all these dumb puzzles are hard." Sans watched Naruto and Papyrus walk away, and soon after, he followed. "Dumb? Nye, I knew I shouldn't have asked such an unappreciative human like you. I guess I'll go recalibrate the puzzles then," he said. Oh, Naruto held the note and quickly skimmed its contents. "Human, please enjoy the spaghetti, blah, 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 it's a trap, blah, Nehehe." Papyrus, the group of evergreen trees finally parted in a secluded area, which was unusually bare save for two strategically placed tables and a note. He laid the paper down and then passed it over the spaghetti plate and spaghetti microwave. Naruto quickly reached another note, and beyond it was a field of solidified snow clumps. "Hey, only an idiot would fall for that," he said. "A marriage" was the note he read. "Oh my, it's that human again." Naruto was approached by an Ice Cap, Snowdrake, and another monster. As promised, Ice Cap's hat was even more beautiful than before. "So, how about my hat?" Ice Cap inquired. Jerry replied, "It's pretty basic," and everyone shivered. Naruto smacked his hand against some rough tree bark, signaling the other monsters to stop. "Hey, Jerry, look over there," Naruto yelled between breathless gasps. When Jerry turned his strange, small head around, everyone fled. Snowdrake began, anyways, about my joke, failing to notice Ice Cap's eerie gaze. I thought we were talking about my hat. You always talk about your hat. You always tell your jokes. Guys, can we all agree that both of you suck equally? That was Jerry's voice, and Jerry came back. Hey, Jerry, look over there, Ice Cap said again as Snowdrake and Ice Cap joined Naruto in his loud moan. Haha, I'm not falling for that lame trick again. Looks like I'm stuck with you guys. Their moans became more intense in response to the question, any one of you losers want to hear something cool? Ice Cap removed his hat, turning back into an ice cube, and Snowdrake vanished, leaving Jerry and Naruto alone. They just ditched me, ugh, some friends, Jerry said, his soulless, dark eyes penetrating Naruto's soul. But you won't leave me, right? Jerry asked. All Jerry could see was a whirl of yellow as Naruto's heel pressed firmly against the fragile layer of snow. His turn was as sharp as a knife, and he ran. He had come so far in such a short period of time. It appears like I lost him, which is wonderful, and I managed to get some gold when Ice Cap and Snowdrake were fleeing. With all of this, I could purchase all the nice cream I want, and perhaps even some ramen. Naruto grasped his lump of gold hard. His face lit up like a light at the anticipation of tasting savory, delicious ramen. Without realizing it, he crossed a short row of spikes that were ostensibly intended to form a riddle and went over another rigid bridge. What's that smell? Identify your smell. Beside Naruto, two shadowy individuals sniffed frantically. The smell it, one of them started to say, with a final makes me want to destroy. It was difficult for Naruto to be terrified by two white, fuzzy dogs without their ominous hoods on. They only became frightening when they aimed their enormous combat axes at him. Naruto yelled, hey, I don't want any trouble, and shoved their blades away. Yeah, right? The dogi were nearly identical down to their round snouts and floppy ears, but Dogami had a malicious cowlick and what appeared to be marker-drawn eyebrows. Get ready for trouble, Dogami hissed. However, Dogaresa's eyelashes were extremely sympathetic, and she snarled a note that was identical to Dogami's, and make it double. In an attempt to retreat, Naruto slipped on something and fell face-first into the snow before the dogi pounded their axes down next to him before he could even collect his breath. What? Do you smell the smell I'm smelling? I do. Oh, you said that same thing to me during our marriage. Puppy, I know about that smell you were talking about. I think it's a lost puppy. I think it is. They nuzzled noses just for fun. This should work if these dogs are similar to the last one. Reaching for the tops of the dogi's fluffy heads, Naruto gave them a loving pet. A dog that pets a dog, amazing. What will this world think of next? Thank you, strange puppy. They nuzzled once more for no apparent reason. Naruto adjusted his weight uneasily and gazed at his feet. It smells like the weird puppy is lonely. Do you want to nuzzle with us? Red in the face, he exclaimed, and no. Well, more for us. XXXX, so these are the hard puzzle Sans was talking about, huh? Naruto placed one foot on the spikes after two menacing blue XS and a flat, gray switch were arranged in a triangle with each other. I could try and solve this thing, or I could do what I did last time, he said. Naruto positioned his second leg over the spikes, clearing the problem while Papyrus yelled, "Cheater!" and rushed towards the Uzumaki. What do you think you're doing? Nya will talk about your cheaterism ideals another time. More importantly, did you eat that spaghetti I prepared? Nah. Woo-wee. So you resisted the temptations of my home-cooked spaghetti just so you could share it with me? Worry not, human. I, Iron Chef Papyrus, will make you all the pasta to your heart's content. If you're gonna make me something, then I don't want it to be pasta, I want it to be ramen. Papyrus went and returned a little while later, saying, Don't just stand here, come along, ramen? That disgusting food Undine's friend always eats. I might have some in my pantry. I'll go see. Papyrus walked to the sidelines and said, I don't know how to say this, human, but my brother and I made this puzzle for you. But you were taking so long, I decided to improve the puzzle by rearranging it to look like my face. Then the snow froze to the ground, and now the solution's different. And to add to that, my lazy brother is nowhere to be seen. worry not, I will solve this conundrum. In the meantime, feel free to try and solve it yourself as Naruto followed him until they came to a stop. We can just jump over the spikes. Sans accidentally messed up the spike-Y part of this particular puzzle, I swear. First the sock collection, now this. It's a good thing someone like me is here for him, Papyrus said, pointing to the spikes that were waiting at the end and were extended to the point of impassability. I'll have to figure this out because he's going to take too long. When Naruto stepped on one of the excess, it turned into a bright red circle directly beneath his feet. He then stepped on another, and it changed to an O. This pattern of turning excess into OS continued until he tripped and struck an O once more. The O briefly flickered before settling on a lime-green triangle shape. What? Papyrus, why'd it change to a triangle? Fret not, human, it's a part of the puzzle. If a tile changes to a triangle, then you start over. Yep. Papyrus' foot pressed against the switch, and all of Naruto's effort, commitment, and perspiration disappeared. There you go. Naruto repeatedly attempted the task, but each time he stepped over an O by mistake. He eventually gave up and turned to face the lanky skeleton. Hey, Papyrus, do you want to give this puzzle a go? He asked. Do I? Papyrus stopped when he finished the task. Wait a second, human. You knew I had a deep-seated passion for puzzles, so you tricked me into completing one? Oh oui. That's one of the nicest things someone's ever done for me. I'll make up an even harder puzzle as thanks. But it was too late. The tall skeleton had already left the area. Hey! Wait, nice. No, it isn't. Now I'll have to solve an even harder puzzle, sulked Naruto, who had become used to seeing Sans after each challenge. Yeah, but look how you solved this puzzle. Pretty smart if you ask me. Bonus, I didn't have to help you out, which is always a good thing. That means I don't have to do anything at all. Whatever. A rectangular machine was being worked on by Papyrus when Naruto pulled himself over to yet another conundrum. Bro, what are you doing? Sans questioned. I'm making this puzzle harder for the human. You sure you know how this thing works? It's Alfie's machine after all. Of course I do, Sans. Now, human, I'm sure you're wondering what this particular puzzle is all about. You see those tiles? While closely observing the grayscale tiles, Naruto nodded. Well, after I throw the switch here, they'll change to different colors and each color has its own separate function. Red tiles are impassable, you can't step on them. Yellow tiles are electric, they'll electrocute you. Green tiles are alarm tiles, if you step on one, you'll have to dash. At one point, Naruto fell asleep. X. And pink tiles do absolutely nothing. Hey, human, you were listening, weren't you? He said something that sounded like a yeah. Good. When I pull this switch, it'll make a puzzle never before seen in puzzle history. Not even I will know the solution. Nyehehe. Get ready. The tiles blinked slowly at first, then more quickly until eventually they stopped blinking entirely. What? Is this the puzzle? Is this a joke or something? With the exception of one red tile that stood out like a sore thumb against all the pink, every electronic slab became a malevolent shade of salmon pink, and Naruto couldn't help but chuckle at Papyrus' fruitless attempt to fool him. After rounding off with a scoop of nyehehes, Papyrus turned to leave. Naruto smiled even more in response to Sans' sardonic comment, I guess my brother broke the machine, good for you, before stepping on the first tile. FWP, they're all the same exact colors, he moaned as the titles started to switch palettes quickly, changing from shades Naruto couldn't identify. It only took a moment for the tiles to settle on a new problem. Yep, Sans said with his typical laugh, my brother broke that thing, for sure. Naruto strolled to the opposite side of the pink-tiled layout, his hands in his pockets. As he left, he smiled at Sans and said, you know your brother's not that much of a loser after all. I guess you would say it's fun tibia around him. After spinning around and getting as far away from Sans as he could, Naruto found himself in yet another odd location, with the trees so far apart that you could see the darkness crawling along their long bark. Even though Naruto was never particularly troubled by the cold, there was a definite shudder that went up his spine with every step he took. This could have been due to the unpredictable weather or the numerous broken snow dog necks that were lying around. "You look jumpy," commented a scrawny-looking fawn as he walked next to Naruto and gave him a shoulder pat. "I didn't hear him come toward me. What type of monster, wait, a ghost, can do that?" He attempted to appear casual, but his tone came out as frightened. "It's nothing," he said. The fawn tugged at its purple vest's collar. "I bet it's the dog sculptures they are frightening. Well, a dog recently ran in here filled with inspiration and it's kept trying to build a snow dog that would embody its emotions. The more it built, the more excited it got, the neck got longer and it just kept on adding more snow until it was rather sad to watch it all go down. But I couldn't help myself. Oh, it must have been that one dog I pet earlier. I didn't catch his name." "You're talking about Lesser Dog. Speaking of here," the fawn said, placing a short, squat stick in Naruto's palm. "What's this for?" he said, staring at the stick. "Greater Dog, oh, these damn puzzles," Naruto exclaimed as his foot beat on the snow, growing increasingly agitated with each breath. "Man, I have to solve this one on my own," he sighed somewhat, seeing that the puzzle's end was a gaping hole too big for anyone with common sense to jump over. "It's because of the slippery ice, it's impossible for me to just freely walk around. There has to be another way," he said, referring to the most difficult component of solving an X and O puzzle, flipping the next X from the closest blue X to a red O. Naruto took off his navy blue sandals, exposing his bare feet to the weather, and said, "Maybe I can try this. I think this will work." Without it dragging him back and forth, he sailed through the maze with his extremely clammy feet that nearly adhered to the ice. Naruto put his sandals back on and hit the long-awaited gray button, which opened a needle tree-enclosed route to the opposite side as the final X flickered to a satisfying O. The path ended at a cunning fork in the road, and Naruto considered his options before deciding to head south. "I wonder how far I am before I find a town or something. Then I could finally get some food," Naruto thought as he continued southward. "I'm so hungry. Maybe I should have eaten Pap spaghetti. Damn it, I don't think I can go on like this," he said. "What's up, kid?" Sans was leaning against the naked wall, looking comfortable. "Sans?" Naruto asked, bobbling his head up. "What are you doing here?" "Nothing." "Yeah, right?" he sneered. "You catch on quick. I don't think there's no harm in telling you anyways. You see, there's a door all the way to the farthest right I go to regularly. Feel free to check it out." As Naruto started his journey towards the enigmatic entrance, the snow blankets grew thinner. Occasionally, he would even come across a dry area of purple ground. "I think someone came through here recently," he said, bending down at a stretch of bare land. "It was probably one of those rowdy teenagers that isn't Sans or anyone I know, so," Naruto said, reaching for his stick and grasping it before spinning around and pointing it at the demon behind him. "Come any closer and I'll," he said, his sense of combat ebbing away. "And you'll what, decorate me like the rest of those teenagers?" Jiftrot asked Naruto in a slow voice, as if each syllable dragged on longer than the last. Jiftrot was older than all the other monsters in Snowdin Forest and less vigilant, encouraging children to decorate him and his enormous antlers. "And no, I don't even have anything to decorate you with." Jiftrot stamped his pencil-width hooves in the snow, making the earth beneath Naruto's feet shudder. "That's what they all say until they stick some random postcard on your forehead," he said. The shaking ceased. What just happened? He was standing on a white present box, but the one that was left for him was blue. 3 present boxes ascended from the earth and settled beneath his feet. "Ho ho ho! This is my ultimate weapon for all those pesky youths. Have a nice trip." Naruto leaped away. The presence shot into the silent sky as the speaker said, "You rebel. Get back on before dash, they lift dash. I could have just died or something on that. No, they come back down, I think. You must really hate those teenager then. Hey, if I take all the crap off you, you'll promise not to kill me, deal?" Naruto said, reaching for the back of his head and giving it a much-needed scratch. "Oh fine." First, Naruto picked up a half-eaten candy that was entangled in the evergreen trees on Grifftrot's antlers. "That feels a little better," he muttered, and Naruto nodded. Next, he removed a package of raisins that had nothing to do with dogs from his oily back. And finally, he peeled a picture of Snowdrake and his parents from Grifftrot's forehead. "A weight has been lifted," Grifftrot sighed with relief. With the exception of the raisins unrelated to dogs, Naruto shoved Grifftrot's weights into his pockets. "Nice knowing ya." Naruto received a silent mutter in return. "Anyway, now that he's out of the way, I can finally see that door Sans was talking about," Naruto said. "This is it then," he said as he passed through the big cave entrance at the brink of the snow-capped cliff. After scraping against the concave walls for a while, Naruto's hand fell to his side because there were no more walls to support the scraping. Naruto approached the purple door at the end of the cave with trepidation, using the faint glow of the mushrooms scattered throughout the cave as illumination. "This place," he said, grazing his hand over an engraved symbol that was an exact replica of the one on his shirt. "It's an entrance to the ruins. I'm okay. I didn't die," Naruto said, leaning against the door and spreading his legs across the teal grass. "I met lots of cool monsters along the way. They're all really fun to be with, but it's not like I've forgotten about you." He clenched the grass, which felt nice as it wriggled between his fingers. "I'm not sure if you met Papyrus yet, but he makes really nasty food," he said. "I wish you were here, Toriel. I miss you so much. XXXX." Naruto had traveled east this time and was looking at piles upon piles of snow puffs. "Why in the world are these everywhere?" he asked himself. "I got something weird," he said, sticking one hand through a solitary snow puff. He clutched a little package in his palm and said, "They're Pomeranz's strange name." When he approached the final snow puff, Naruto's hand pierced the fragile shell and he banged on it, asking, "Metallic? Since when was snow this hard?" And he said, continuing his futile raid, "Woof woof." A white dog's head and tail emerged from the snow puff on either side. "Oh, it's just a little dog." Then it stood, and the dog that he had assumed to be small turned out to be much larger. Naruto was surrounded by a threatening shadow from the larger dog's enormous armor and spear. Greater's dog barked thundered in the cold air, "Bow wow." Waving the stick, Naruto staggered back and said, Hey, I got something for you." The larger dog ran toward the human, slobbering in buckets as it went. Asterisk bam, asterisk bam, asterisk bam. What the hell? Greater dog was so near the stick that it could practically feel it scraping against its tongue as it lay helplessly under the weight of Grifftrot's present boxes. "These things aren't as heavy as I thought. Guess nothing's in them," Naruto said as he rushed over to the completely white dog and pushed the gifts off its back. "There you go." Greater dog gave the final gifts a well-earned shove, carefully rising to its feet before joyfully hammering Naruto. Naruto encouraged, "All right, I still got the stick. Want it?" No area of snow was immune from the greater dog's slobbering. Yip, 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 yip. His head moved like a rotating shower. Naruto spun around and threw the stick as far as he could, with the greater dog pursuing. Oh, and what if a human comes to her? What is she going to do without a sack? Papyrus anxiously tapped his foot on the yellowed bridge, a habit he had. "So as I was saying about the sack patent," Undine laughed me in the face. "Does she not understand the importance of sacks?" "Use her spears," said Sans with a shrug. "Nye, Papyrus and Sans. I recognized that voice. It's the human and right on time. Sans and Papyrus shuffled off the bridge as soon as Naruto got close enough to them. "Behold, human," exclaimed Papyrus, "'tis your final and most dangerous challenge. Introducing the gauntlet of deadly terror." "Yeah," Naruto said, leaning against the rope railing, stiff from the extreme cold. "Let's see it," he said as a variety of weaponry surrounded him, including cannons, spears, flamethrowers, flails, and even menacing white dogs. "Prepare yourself, for when I say the word, it will fully activate. Cannons will fire, spikes will swing, blades will slice all violently up and down. Only the tiniest chance of victory remains. Are you ready? Because I am about to do it." Sans inquired. "Well, what's the holdup?" "Holdup? What holdup?" "I'm activating it right now as a matter of fact. That, doesn't look very activated. This is boring." Naruto resumed his stroll. Wait. Human, hold up. Clearly this puzzle is not up to date. I cannot allow that. I am a skeleton with standards. My puzzles are very fair, and my traps expertly cooked. This method is far too direct. I couldn't sleep at night if I'd make you complete this." The puzzle was deactivated and all of the weapons disappeared. "Whatever you say, don't think you've won this round, blonde fiend." "Nyehehe." Papyrus spun off. Sans approached Naruto as he was leaving the bridge and said, "I don't know what my brothers are going to do now, but he's all riled up. If I were you, I would remember the blue attacks." Determined, Naruto fled, following the warped snow prints left by Papyrus to the small town of Snowdin. "If that's all there is, then Papyrus isn't gonna give me much trouble." Oh, finally, I can spend all this money," Naruto said, describing Snowdin town in one word, cozy. From its homes to its shops, every square inch of wood exterior was packed tight with warmth and the occasional fur tuft. A joint building called shop / and snuggled tightly between masses of evergreen trees. When Naruto opened the shop door, he was met by warm air gusts and a kind voice that said, "Hello, traveler, how can I help you? Have any food?" "I sure do, a bicycle and a cinnamon bunny, my own special recipe," the bunny said with a smile upon seeing him. He remarked, "I'll take the cinnamon bunny, I was hoping she had something different." Naruto said, "You're pretty cool, you know," as she wrapped up the pastry, and the bunny wrinkled her nose before bending behind the counter and grabbing his desired item. After brushing her bunny ears and adjusting her sun hat, she said, "Oh, I wouldn't call myself that. I'm just a shopkeeper waiting to someday expand. It gets a bit claustrophobic here in the underground," she said. "You guys want to get out too? I bet it gets cramped in here after a while. I'll get everyone out of the underground somehow. There has to be a way." She half smiled uneasily. "Yeah, oh well, thanks again for the food. I just realized that youngster didn't pay up for the food. Wait dash." The rabbit sighed in frustration as the door closed behind him. "This isn't enough money." She saw a tiny lump of gold sitting next to her hairy elbow. Naruto said, "This tastes so good," as he tore a big piece of the cinnamon rabbit. Human, I have great news. It has the sound of Ice Cap." Snowdrake and Ice Cap were sprinting in his direction. Ice Cap's hat was larger and better than the last one, if that was possible. He never stopped trying to win Naruto over with his constant hat upgrades, saying, "My hat evolved overnight." Naruto remarked, "Looks the same to me, what? I got like 2 extra feet on this baby. In fact, my hat's gonna be taller than you at this rate." Ice Cap went crazy overnight. "He's very unstable. I have to keep a close watch on him. I'm Snow Sweet, right?" Snowdrake said, glancing at Ice Cap. "Snowdrake, my goodness. Your astronomically bad puns are taking all the attention away from my hat," Ice Cap screamed. "It's icy." Snowdrake. "Hey everyone." In between their arguments, a clear, high-pitched voice interrupted them. It could only have come from one of Snowdin's shortest monsters, Monster Kid. Everything about Monster Kid was mustard yellow, from the top of their spike-adorned head to their striped clothing. With what was left of the cinnamon bunny in his pocket, Naruto said, "Who's that kid?" Ice Cap and Snowdrake exchanged apprehensive looks. It's just Monster Kid, Snowdrake murmured, muttering something else that Naruto didn't quite understand. For Monster Kid, falling was usual. What they didn't understand was the laughter that followed. They fell on their floppy brown feet and landed face first in the snow. They slowly got back and wiped it off. That was so uncool, they said. As Monster Kid approached Snowdrake and Ice Cap, they both snickered. Are you guys going to see Undyne too? With no arms, Naruto looked indiscreetly at the monster youngster, wondering how they would ever put that clothing on. Who's Undyne? What? You're unaware of Undyne? With all these spears and armor, she is the coolest monster in the subterranean. You must see her. She sounds amazing, lol. Does she not? Just to see her, I'm leaving Snowdin Town. You ought to follow suit. The monster child trotted off. Hey, will you all be seeing Undyne? Naruto inquired as he turned to pursue Monster Kid. Undyne's overrated just because she's the head of the Royal Guard, stated Ice Cap. Snowdrake said, well, I hear she can bench press 7 kids. That's pretty cool. My hat can bench press 8, so that's nothing. So would you say, I have to go because he's going to make some strange joke again? It wouldn't hurt simply to look around. It's not like Undyne is going anywhere. Naruto said, his hand resting on the handle of a building that nearly pleaded with him to open its door and enter. He was close to the border of Snowdin. Outside of the regulars, not many strangers frequented Grillby's, where a variety of monsters, including members of the Royal Guard, would frequently unwind. As a result, when Naruto entered the comfortable tavern, everyone's eyes were fixed on him. That strange puppy has a pleasant scent. To ease the strain, Dogami stated, why it does. As Naruto passed Dogami and Dogaresa's table, everyone resumed their regular activities. What are you two doing? He inquired. Dogami pushed Greater Dog, who was slobbering all over his deck, saying, you can play cards if you want, but watch where you sit. Or that big guy over there will jump into your lap and give you lots of love and attention, Dogami said. And no, I'm okay. The bunny from the booth cried out to Naruto, slurring their words, Hatey dude, wait. Oh, ops, you're younger than I thought, man. Everywhere I go, it's always the same menus, the same people, I can't take it. I want to know where he went. With his hands firmly behind his head, Naruto pushed through the snow, thinking only about getting to Undyne. I think I spend a little too much time in there, he said. Doesn't look like anyone's home, he said, puffing his face gold as he finally passed the library. But its drabness was entirely obscured by a lively, gallant-sized wooden house that was a magnet for attention. His hands were on the windows, and soft yellow light from inside burst from the window glass. A contrastingly simple shed, too plain to even consider, stood beyond the home. Oh, only the sound of running water calmed Naruto's anxiety as fog crept into the air, making every stride feel more oppressive than the one before. He couldn't see more than 2 inches beyond him. What was that? After taking a few more steps, Naruto heard a familiar voice reverberating in his ears before the echoing changed to intelligible speech. Human, that voice was familiar to Naruto from somewhere. Papyrus. Let me explain some complicated emotions to you. These emotions must be what you're experiencing right now. They include the delight of discovering another pasta fan, the appreciation of someone else's aptitude for solving puzzles, and the wish to be perceived as cool by a smart, cool person. Since I am so wonderful and never wonder what it's like to have many friends, I can't even begin to conceive what it must be like to feel this way. I feel sorry for you, lonely person. Naruto clenched his fist. Worry not, for you shall be lonely no longer, for I, the great Papyrus, will be your